Hello everyone, in this Unity tutorial I'm going to show you how to create a waypoint marker. In my scene I have a plane as a ground and I have a cube as a player. Inside the player I have the main camera, and then I have a cylinder as a target. Inside the target I have the 3D text called waypoint text. To put a 3D text you can go to 3D object and click on 3D text. And within the 3D text we're going to be referencing text mesh so we can change the text. I put the default text to 100, a font size of 16, a color of red, and I anchored it to the middle center. In my assets folder, I have the materials to distinguish the game objects, and I have a scripts folder to put the scripts in. So let's take a look at the player script. So in this script, I am declaring a float as a move speed and initialize it into 5. In my update method, I am getting the horizontal axis, so I can move the player left and right with the A and D keys or the arrow keys. And I'm multiplying by time.delta time to keep a frame rate independent. Down here, I'm getting the vertical axis, so I can move the player forwards and backwards using the W and S keys or the arrow keys. And then I'm updating the position using transform.translate. Okay, now let's create our new script. And let's call it waypoint. So let's remove the comments. And up here, let's do a private player. And let's just call it player. And then a private text mesh. And let's call it waypoint text. And then a serialized field, private int font size tweak, and let's initialize it to 2. This value will be used to change the font size of the waypoint text depending on how far or close the player is away from the waypoint. And then a private int min distance equals 5. This value will be used to prevent the text from getting too small and blurry as the player gets very close to the waypoint. And then in the start we can do player equals find object of type player. And then we can do waypoint text equals get component text mesh. This is the text mesh that was attached to the 3D text. And then in the update method what we can do is int distance equals vector 3 dot distance, and it takes 2 parameters. One parameter is the current position, which is the waypoint, and then the other parameter will be the player's position. So we can do the current position using transform dot position, and then the player's position using player dot transform dot position. And then we can update the waypoint text. Wait, before we do that, you can see we got an error because vector 3 dot distance returns a float, but we're using int here, so we can cast it to an int. The reason why I'm using an int instead of float because I want the waypoint text to be an integer and not any decimals. Unless you want decimals in your waypoint, that's totally fine. And then down here we can do waypoint text dot text equals distance dot toString. And then here we can do an if statement saying if the distance is greater than the min distance, then we want to change the font size. So we can do waypoint text dot text equals distance. Let's just multiply it by the font size tweak. Sorry, I accidentally used text. What I meant to put is font size. So we can do that. Let's save it up. And let's go back to Unity. Inside the player, let's attach the player script. And then for the waypoint text, let's attach the waypoint script. And now let's run it. So you can see the number displays how far we are away from the waypoint. So if we go farther away, the text will increase in size and the numbers will also increase. And the closer we get, the font size decreases and the numbers decrease until you get to like 5, and that's where the size of the font will stop, so then it prevents it from getting too small. So thank you for watching. Bye.